the next thing we need to do is we need to create a dispatch file. Okay, so I'm going to right click on default, hit new file, call it dispatch.yaml. Okay, now what is a dispatch file? Okay, a dispatch file is basically a higher level routing that App Engine has. So up until now, we saw two levels of routing. Okay, we saw the app.yaml, which basically told us everything starting with favicon.ico, serve this static file. Everything starting with /static, you need to handle with the static directory, and anything else has to pass through the router.app, and these were our routes mapped to the request handlers, okay? So this was the second level of routing. Well, the dispatch is a third level of routing, but it's actually executed before any other level. So first it's going to be dispatch, then the app.yaml or the parser.yaml, and then it's going to actually be the router inside of the Python file, okay? Now we need to do this because we need to tell the dispatch is the file that configures which module is going to process each request, okay? So let's see how this works. Let's type in application. As usual, is going to be yum and your application ID, so yum search 2 in my case. And then we need to write dispatch. And here we can indent one line in and say dash URL is, and here we need to type in the kind of like a regular expression, but it's not really. So I'm going to say all URLs starting or containing a underscore parser / anything else are going to be handled by the module called parser, okay? So this is why we need the dispatch file, because any request coming in, it will evaluate whether or not it contains parser in it, so underscore parser, and if it does, it's going to pass it to the module parser, okay? And then this module will say, okay, I'm going to process each request coming in containing this underscore parser and send it to the modules.parser.src.food_com.parse. And basically we don't need to do anything else in this dispatch, because if a URL will not match this, it will go to the default module, okay? So that's what the dispatch does. And so let's continue our setup and create this parser file. So new Python file and parser, okay? And now, as usual, we need to import the WSGI application and the route from web app 2. So from web app 2, import WSGI application, and also from web app 2, import route. Okay, good. Now app is going to be equal to WSGI application, and then inside of WSGI application, I can say routes is going to be equal to a list, and here I can say routes and then the name of the route. So this will always need to be / underscore parser / and then whatever we want to do. So the first one we're going to create is the load to load the URLs, so / load, and then the handler, okay, which will be inside of the modules package, inside of the parser, then inside of src, because that's where the source code will be, and then in the food_com file, and the class name will be load URLs. Okay, looks good. So let's see if this is working. So this should be modules, parser as the Python file, and then the app variable inside of this. Okay, so this looks good, okay? And this line here needs to be indented on the same level as URL, otherwise it won't work, okay? So make sure it's indented on the same level. Okay, so I've quit out of my application. I'm going to try and restart it now. So I'm going to say gcloud preview app run period. Okay, we get an error. Okay, wow, big error. So what's happening here? Well, it's saying that modules parser specified in dispatch app.dispatch.yaml are not defined by a YAML file. Okay, so it's saying we're missing a parser.yaml file. Okay, now why is this? Well, let's go back to PyCharm and see why this is happening. What App Engine is expecting is that this file will be in the root directory. Okay, So we could copy this file out of the parsers directory or modules parsers directory and put it into the root directory. But personally, I kind of think that's messy. I like my root directory to be as clean as possible. So instead we can do another thing. Okay, what we can do is to create a symbolic link. Okay, what a symbolic link does is it's kind of like a shortcut that lives in this level here and points to this file here. Okay, so the way we do this is we can type in the command ln-s, so this link symbolic, and navigate to the file that we want to link to. So this will be inside of the modules, inside of the parser, and then parser.yaml. Okay, so this is the file we want to link to, and now we have to specify the name of this symbolic link, so we can simply say parser.yaml. Okay, good. So now if I run the lsal command, we can see that we have a parser.yaml symbolic link pointing to modules parser.yaml. Okay, so let's try and run our application again and see if this works. Okay, nice. We see it's working, and in addition, we see that we have started another module, okay, a module parser. So this is really, really cool, and it's exciting because we now have separated the application into two different modules, and each module has its own resources assigned to it, okay, and each module will scale differently according to the amount of workload it has.